Well, thank you, Senator Udall, and welcome. Glad to have all of you people here. Let me just read you something that was in a New York Times article. It says, the end of 2012 will be unlike any other time in memory for government. This was part of an article where the main headline was Tax Megadon. So we are not, I would say, budget experts. I think you heard from Alice Rivlin this morning. She knows probably more about the federal budget than most people on earth. The group I run basically is interested in taking technology and applying that to really important social problems. So we're a combination of technology geeks and social entrepreneurs. And about 10 years ago, we sort of said, okay, what happens if we actually could use video games and put video games in the service of the public interest? What would happen if we could actually do that? Because right now, 75 or 80% of all households have video games. The average age of video gamers is now 35 or 36. 40% of them are women. This is an incredibly powerful and ubiquitous technology. And so we decided to start a bunch of projects. We have one called Games for Health. We have something called Games for Change that we launched. And about, I think it was 2006, we decided to take on the federal budget. It's a trivial challenge. But the original goal was, could we ever get just even 100,000 people to play with a video game that actually contained a lot of information on the federal budget? If you played it, what you're playing with is the macroeconomic model used by the Congressional Budget Office. So this is a non-trivial model behind that game. And so we started doing work with American Public Media. We rolled this out in 2008. And since that point in time, it's been played 1.5 million times, which stuns me because it's hard to imagine that anybody would want to play with the federal budget. We've gotten tens of thousands of emails from people from all over the country that have learned interesting things about the budget. And over the summer, we actually relaunched this Budget Hero game on Capitol Hill with Senators Udall and Senator Sessions. So we updated it, relaunched it, and we're now getting ready to do another launch. We'll be putting out what we call the election edition of Budget Hero in the beginning of September after the Republican and Democratic conventions. You'll be able to earn 3 new badges, an Obama badge, a Mitt Romney badge, and a badge we call January Surprise. Okay, the January Surprise badge will require you to go into the game and find all of these policies that will expire. So in the next 10 years, there's about 80 public policies and tax provisions that will expire. By the end of the year, 60 of them will be gone. If we do nothing about those, or we decide to do something about the difference in terms of the debt is about $6.5 trillion. So the decisions that are made at the end of the year in terms of dealing with these expiring policies, such as the payroll tax cut and unemployment benefits, but also the Bush tax cut, the alternative minimum tax patch, there's all kinds of stuff in there that's kind of hidden, but it has huge, huge impacts in terms of what the budget will look like. And so that's going to be, I think, a real challenge for people playing the game. We're getting ready to roll out 2 lesson plans we've developed with Teachers College. That'll be designed for 12th grade economics and civics classes. So we're going to do a big push into schools. And we're hoping that all of you will have a chance to play the new edition. You played version 2.0, not 3.0. But hopefully what we want to do is actually to have you talk a little bit about what you learned. So we're going to have you kind of spin around and make groups of 10. We've got actual cards. Since everyone doesn't have a laptop here, we actually have printed the cards. So you'll be able to look at them and just talk a little bit about what you think were really important. After you're done with that, we'd like to get maybe 3 or 4 people just to discuss a little bit about what they learned from the game, what were some of the controversies, the hard decisions you had to reach. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you data we pulled from the game. As you go through the game, you can share demographic data. And about 12 or 15% of people do that. So my statistician pulled all the data for people from Colorado based on zip codes. And I'll share with you exactly what the Coloradans chose as a larger statistical group.